Politics. Yes, that thing you try to avoid at family dinners, right alongside your aunt's questionable Jell-O salad. We're constantly told what politicians should do, what they should care about, what grand vision they should have for our future. It's a never-ending stream of shoulds, coulds, and woulds, usually delivered with the sincerity of a hostage video. But what are they actually doing? Behind the focus-grouped speeches and the flag-pin pageantry, what is the tangible result of all that power? Is it progress, or is it just an expensive, taxpayer-funded LARP session? Today we're cutting through the noise, the spin, and the frankly insulting platitudes. We are diving headfirst into the murky, churning waters of modern politics to examine the good, the bad, and the so ugly it should come with a warning label. We're not interested in partisan talking points, we're interested in results. We'll look at real-world mistakes, the kind of monumental blunders that make you wonder if the person in charge won their position in a raffle. We'll explore the missed opportunities that will haunt generations to come, and yes, we'll even find those rare, shimmering moments of genuine leadership. So, buckle up. This isn't going to be your typical cable news shouting match where everyone is wrong but also somehow a patriot. This is a reality check, a deep tissue massage for your political brain that might just be a little bit painful. By the end of this, I promise you, you will never look at a news headline, a groundbreaking ceremony, or a politician promising you the moon on a stick the same way again, and that, frankly, is the entire point. Ah, the legacy project. Every leader wants one. It's the political equivalent of a midlife crisis, only instead of buying a sports car, they build a billion-dollar airport in the middle of nowhere. These are ego-driven, pharaonic mega-projects designed not to serve the public, but to immortalize a name on a plaque. They promise to be gleaming beacons of modernity and progress, but more often than not, they become colossal, concrete tombstones to fiscal irresponsibility. All while your local hospital has a leaky roof and your kid's school is using textbooks from the Reagan administration. Think about it, we've seen this script play out time and time again. Spain's Ciudad Real Central Airport, a 1.1 billion euro ghost town built for a city that didn't need it, now used for, well, storing things and filming car commercials. Or consider the countless smart city districts around the world. Futuristic ghost towns with sensor-laden lampposts and automated trash cans but no actual people living in them. They look fantastic in an architectural magazine, but they're about as useful to the average citizen as a chocolate teapot. It's a spectacular way to burn through public money. The real tragedy here isn't just the wasted cash, though that is, and I can't stress this enough, infuriating. It's the opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on a vanity bridge to nowhere is a dollar not spent on affordable housing, clean water, or functional public transit. It's a fundamental betrayal of public trust where the ego of one person is prioritized over the essential needs of millions. It's not leadership, it's architectural masturbation, and you're the one left paying for the cleanup. Now, if there's one word politicians love more than freedom, it's transparency. They adore it. They talk about it constantly, promising the most transparent administration in history with the same fervor they use to kiss babies. But often what they're offering isn't actual transparency, it's transparency theater. It's a carefully staged performance of openness designed to create the illusion of accountability, while the real shady business happens behind a very, very thick curtain. It's like a magician showing you his empty hands while his assistant is busy stealing your watch. The star of this show is often the grand anti-corruption campaign. A leader will stand at a podium, seething with righteous anger, and declare war on graft. They'll arrest a few low-level officials, maybe even a rival or two, and hold big televised press conferences. It looks fantastic, the public cheers, but look closer. While everyone is distracted by the show trials, the leader's own cronies are being awarded no-bid contracts for everything from paper clips to power plants. The new anti-corruption laws are riddled with loopholes big enough to drive a truck full of cash through. It's not cleaning house, it's just redecorating with your own crooked friends. This performance is incredibly corrosive. It makes a mockery of genuine efforts to fight corruption and breeds a deep, abiding cynicism in the public. When a leader claims to be draining the swamp, but you can clearly see them just installing a new, more luxurious jacuzzi for their alligator friends, you stop believing that the swamp can ever be drained. It's a betrayal that operates on two levels. They're stealing your money, and they're insulting your intelligence by pretending they're not. And honestly, the second part is almost more offensive. When things go wrong, and in politics things always go wrong, a leader has two choices. They can take responsibility, analyze the failure, and work towards a solution. Or they can do the blame game, otherwise known as the scapegoat shuffle. This is a classic, depressingly effective move. Why deal with complex systemic problems like economic inequality or decaying infrastructure when you can just find a vulnerable group of people and point a very loud, very angry finger at them? It's the political equivalent of a toddler blaming the dog for drawing on the walls. This tactic is as old as time and twice as nasty. Is the economy struggling? It's not because of decades of poor policy decisions. No, it's the fault of immigrants. Is crime on the rise? Forget underfunded social programs and lack of opportunity. Obviously, it's because of, insert minority group here. By creating an US versus them narrative, leaders can cleverly distract their base from their own incompetence. They manufacture an enemy to unite people against, channeling legitimate public anxiety and anger away from themselves and onto a convenient scapegoat. The damage this does is profound and lasting. It doesn't solve a single problem. In fact, it makes them worse by preventing any honest discussion about the root causes. It frays the social fabric, turning neighbors against each other and poisoning public discourse with fear and hatred. It's a cynical, destructive strategy that sacrifices long-term social cohesion for short-term political survival. It's not just bad leadership, it's morally bankrupt leadership. A desperate gambit that mortgages the soul of a nation to save one person's job. Chapter 4. The radical notion of actually helping people. Alright, after that tour through the political sewer, you might need a shower. But believe it or not, it's not all doom and gloom. Every so often, a leader emerges who seems to have stumbled upon a truly radical idea that the purpose of government is to actually govern, to serve the people. I know it sounds insane, but stick with me. These are the leaders who prioritize pragmatic, people-focused policy over glistening, ego-stroking vanity projects. They're less interested in cutting ribbons and more interested in cutting child poverty. These leaders operate on a simple revolutionary principle: make life demonstrably better for the people you represent. Instead of a new stadium, they invest in revitalizing public parks, creating green spaces where communities can actually gather. Instead of a smart city for no one, they fund targeted investments in existing neighborhoods, upgrading public transit, fixing potholes, the boring stuff that actually affects your daily life. They understand that a city's greatness isn't measured by the height of its skyscrapers, but by the well-being of its citizens. The results speak for themselves. You see it in the small-scale, high-impact projects, a new library branch that becomes a community hub, a well-funded after-school program that keeps kids safe and engaged, a simple bike lane that makes commuting safer and healthier. These aren't flashy headlines, you won't see them on the cover of Forbes, but they are the building blocks of a functional, humane society. It's leadership that trades glamour for substance, proving that the most powerful political statement isn't a grand speech but a fixed streetlight on a dark road. Chapter 5. Radical Transparency. Sir, you're showing us your receipts. Remember Transparency Theater? Well, this is the opposite. This is radical transparency. It's not a performance, it's a policy. It's the political equivalent of turning your pockets inside out and letting everyone see what's there, lint and all. This is for the leaders who understand that trust isn't demanded, it's earned. And the way you earn it is by being so relentlessly, uncomfortably open that there's simply no room for suspicion to grow. It's about building a government that operates in a glass house, not a black box. So what does this look like in the real world? It looks like a leader who doesn't just promise to release their tax returns, but voluntarily publishes all their financial disclosures online for anyone to scrutinize. It looks like a city government launching a real-time budget dashboard where any citizen with an internet connection can see exactly where every single tax dollar is going, from the mayor's travel expenses to the cost of printer paper. It's public audits of government contracts, not conducted by a hand-picked crony, but by truly independent bodies with real teeth. This level of openness is terrifying to traditional politicians because it strips away their power to hide, to dissemble, to engage in the kind of backroom dealing that has defined politics for centuries. But for the public, it's revolutionary. It shifts the power dynamic. It forces accountability not as a once every 4 years event at the ballot box, but as a daily reality. It says, we work for you, and here is the proof. It's a brave, difficult, and absolutely essential step towards rebuilding the shattered trust between the people and those who govern them. Chapter 6. Putting out fires instead of starting them. In a crisis, a natural disaster, a pandemic, a deep economic recession, the true nature of a leader is revealed. The charlatans and the dividers will immediately resort to their tired playbook, blame someone, downplay the threat, and try to spin the situation for political gain. But then, there are the problem solvers, the unifiers, the leaders who, when faced with a raging fire, don't start pointing fingers about who lit the match, but instead grab a bucket of water and start organizing a bucket brigade. This kind of leadership is about one thing: solving the problem. It requires setting aside partisan squabbles and ideological purity tests to focus on the common threat. It means bringing everyone to the table, experts, community leaders, even political opponents, to find the best path forward. Communication is key, not happy talk or false reassurances, but clear, honest, and frequent updates. Here's what we know. Here's what we don't know. Here's the plan. Here's how you can help. It's treating citizens like adults who can handle the truth. Think of leaders who, in the face of a flood, worked across party lines to coordinate rescue efforts and deliver aid. Or those who, during a public health crisis, deferred to scientific experts and built a coalition of public and private partners to distribute resources effectively. This is leadership at its most essential. It's not about winning the news cycle, it's about winning the fight. It's the quiet, determined work of uniting people in a time of crisis and reminding everyone that, when it really matters, we are all in this together. So, what have we learned? Besides a healthy distrust of megaprojects. So, how do you tell the difference between the political failures and the true successes? Between the self-serving charlatan and the genuine public servant? It's not always easy, they often use the same words, but there are tells. Look for actions, not just words. A leader who talks a big game about fiscal responsibility, but is spotted using public funds to redecorate their third office is, to put it mildly, not who they claim to be. Their actions are screaming the truth louder than their speeches ever could. Next, and this is the big one, follow the money. Always. Where are the contracts going? Who is benefiting from new laws or zoning changes? If the money consistently flows to a select few, to the leader's family, or to their inner circle of donors, that's not a red flag, that's a 5-alarm fire with sirens blaring. And finally, examine their communication. Do they unite people or divide them? Do they seek to solve problems or just find someone to blame for them? Do they take responsibility for their mistakes? Or do they have an excuse for everything? The greatest leaders aren't the ones who make the grandest promises or build the tallest monuments to themselves. They are the ones who make the most honest and meaningful impact on the lives of ordinary people. They're the ones who fix the roads, fund the schools, and tell the truth, even when it's hard. They leave behind not a legacy of concrete and steel, but one of improved lives and a stronger community. It's not as flashy, but it's the only legacy that truly matters.